battalion, 2nd Battalion, 136th Infantry is here to take part in a multinational NATO exercise, Saber Strike 17, which is a NATO exercise with the Lithuanian Army, and we also have Portuguese, Croatian, and German and Norwegian military personnel participating. This is an ongoing exercise that's happened for several years, but this is the first participation by this large of an organization, having a combined arms battalion with nearly 650 soldiers attending. Well, with these exercises, we've wanted to ensure the Lithuanian, the country of Lithuania, that we're here to support them and to support NATO operations, as well as to test our capabilities and to show Lithuania that we can move our equipment from the United States here and rapidly deploy across their country to this training area with all of our armored equipment, tanks, Bradley fighting vehicles, and other wheeled vehicles. Well, this is a great opportunity for our soldiers. Last year we did a very intensive training in the Mojave Desert in California, and so this year to be able to come here and work with so many different nations and NATO partners, for them to be able to sit down and work hand in hand with the Portuguese, with the Lithuanians, with the Croatians, is really an awesome opportunity for them. And to be working on the same pieces of equipment that they have back in Minnesota, the same tanks, the same Bradley fighting vehicles that we've shipped over here. It's the same equipment we used last year out in the desert of California, and it's really an exciting opportunity. It's been really great. The soldiers have been very excited about just sitting down and meeting and talking to the different NATO soldiers. We've really encouraged them to go out and try some of the different languages. Try saying hello in Portuguese or Lithuanian or Croatian. And those countries, the soldiers are really excited when they hear that. And of course you've got some trading of patches and trading of stories about equipment and how we do things. Our Croatian soldiers that have been working in our operations center have been doing an outstanding job and have already been fully participating in all of our daily briefs and daily staff exercises. Yeah, so over the different planning processes, we were able to coordinate with the Croatians to have 6 of their officers integrate into our staff. And so between logistics and communications and personnel and operations, we have different staff officers that are working side by side with our staff. And we're learning a lot from them, they're learning a lot from us. So across the board, it's a great training opportunity, and we're having them brief instead of the U.S. Soldier. We're having the Croatian officer brief instead, and it's been almost seamless. They've been able to jump in, and they're very excited. We're excited to have them, and it's been a lot of fun to watch our staff really come together. Well, I'm very proud of our soldiers and what they've already accomplished. The fact that this was the first time that the port of Klaipėda in Lithuania was used for this large of a U.S. exercise, and we were able to move all of our equipment rapidly across the country, all of our tanks, Bradley fighting vehicles, other armored equipment, wheeled vehicles. Our soldiers did that, and they did it safely and really accomplished the mission. Now we're getting out and getting into our training, and I think in the end our soldiers will be able to go home feeling very proud of what they've accomplished here, and the partnerships that they've already gained, and the relationships that they'll have. I know we'll end up meeting a lot of these soldiers at some other point. I've already met Croatian soldiers that I trained with in 2014, and another Croatian officer who had trained with some of our soldiers back in 2011. We'll probably meet them again on some other mission or some other exercise. So it's really exciting to be here. Our soldiers that arrived here early to help with the offloading of the ship and moving equipment, they've had a little more time to interact, and it's all been very positive. The rest of our soldiers that have recently arrived have, it's interesting to watch them because it's a new experience, and just seeing all the different soldiers in the different uniforms and watching them come together and talk. There's a little bit of a language barrier, but it's amazing how quickly they work through that and begin communicating. And so the soldiers have been really excited about the mission and about being over in Europe and taking part in this exercise. And I think this will be a big morale boost for the soldiers to be able to come and take part in an exercise like this versus just going to Camp Ripley, where they've done a lot of training in the past and they kind of know the routine, they know the ranges and the training areas. Here everything's new, and all of the new soldiers and new equipment that they're getting to see and work with. So I think that experience, taking that home, will be very important. But more importantly is the lessons that we're going to learn from having deployed our equipment and our soldiers from Minnesota all the way down to Texas on the Gulf Coast, loading our equipment onto a ship, shipping it across the Atlantic, offloading it at the port, and moving it across this country. There's a lot of lessons from the planning and the logistics that goes into this. It's a big challenge, and our soldiers have really stepped up, and we're going to learn from it, and we'll be that much more prepared for the next time we have to go on this type of exercise or a real-world combat deployment. Well, as a member of NATO, it's very important for us as the U.S. Army and as National Guard soldiers to assure our NATO partners that we are committed to our NATO alliance, and as well as to be able to work hand in hand and build that interoperability, because we've got different types of equipment. We have different radio systems, communications, different types of fuel that we use. There's so many different things about our militaries, but at the same time there's a lot that we share together, and so it's coming together in training so that we understand the things that we share and the other things that we need to work through so that we can perform. So when we're asked to serve next to each other in some sort of contingency operation, we can rapidly deploy together and fight and win our NATO alliances, any of our missions that we're required to do. As National Guard soldiers, it's always a challenge when we're gone, especially for the soldiers that have come on early and are going to stay late to take care of our equipment and get it back on the ship. So I want to thank our families and our employers that are back home. Without their support, we can't do this. I know all of our families are having to take care of additional challenges, not having us there to run kids to a summer camp and those types of activities, and for our employers, it's a challenge. And knowing that they've got our back and that they're supporting us really means a lot when we're overseas and doing this type of an exercise.